All right, well, check it out. We just bought this super cheap Chinese manufactured mini wheel loader from an auction. It's a really different machine. I mean, I don't think there's really anything quite like it other than like an Avant or like one of them cast loaders. I mean, obviously they cost considerably more, considering I only paid about $2,000 for this. It's brand new. So it's 4-wheel drive. It's got a twin cylinder Briggs and Stratton motor on it. Can't really get to the motor that well. They claim it's only 13 horsepower, but it's definitely more than that. It is 4-wheel drive, like I said. It's got 2 open differentials. It's full-time 4-wheel drive, I guess. Well, 2-wheel drive, because like I said, they're open. It's got a 3-speed manual transmission. You got first and reverse on like a shuttle, and then you got second and third forward. Hydrostatic steering. You know, your standard single stick loader control. It's got like a 36-inch bucket. I mean, I'm not really sure what the capacity of it would be, but it's about a wheelbarrow. Got some beefy R4 tires on it. Some LED lights. One of the more impressive things is, man, it's got like a Group 31 battery in this little thing. So I'm about 6'4" tall, and you can see it's probably about 7.5 feet tall. But the problem is, this canopy, very cheap. To be quite honest with you, I might just take it off. The other thing is, I don't know if maybe I'll get this on camera or not, but okay, maybe. So you can kind of see there's like a, whatever shear they used to cut this, left a very sharp edge. Not to mention, it's only like 1/8 inch flat steel. And then I don't know what wall thickness this box tube is, but not much, let's say. But going back to the sharpness of it, when I first jumped on this machine, I grabbed a hold of this, and man, I almost cut my finger open. So I think we're gonna remove that first thing. Now, I do plan to sell this machine. I bought another piece of equipment from this auction, so I'm like, well, you know what, we're here, might as well bid on it. And I put a wild bid on it. I'm like, well, I guess you can't really go wrong for $2,000. And don't you know it, I came home with it. You know, there was another one in the same auction, and that other one went for, I think it went for like $3,200, and that was after this one. So I don't know if I just got lucky or what. I don't know. I don't even know if lucky is the word, but you know. Oh, that one hard. This thing wasn't going to save you in a rollover anyway. So I think I was just end up cutting my hand somehow on it. We should do some preliminary checks. And the other thing is, the guy at the auction told me they only put like a water bottle's worth of fuel in this. So before it runs out of fuel, we should probably put some gas in it. But for now, let's check the oil here quick. I think that's about the only thing we can check. Right up to level, so that's good. You know, they use the same style lid for the hydraulic tank. That's down there. But it should be something to be mindful of. Actually, there's actually quite a bit of fuel in there. And whatever, we'll fill it up. This no spill can spills quite a bit of fuel. So as for the operation of this machine, you have a master cutout. Right there, you're live. And then your keys down here. You have your manual throttle, choke. So pull the choke out, crank it. And now it's running. Was running. A little cold yet. Okay, now that it's running, our loader controls are live, so we can, if you want to look at the instructions here, we got up, loading, unloading, and down. But we got a nice wood grain knob, so you know. Alright, I'm gonna shut this off, because I don't want to be talking over this thing. But yeah, we got this nice wood grain knob and these detailed instructions. Oh, and like any of this Chinese equipment, it's loose. So guess let's tighten that up quick. Let's get that in a nice position, and we'll just tighten this jam nut down. So I haven't done more with this than basically just unload it off the trailer and bring it in here and move it here to there till I had time to actually work on filming some stuff with this. So I don't really know a whole lot about it, but let's roll it at a shop here and I don't know, I guess take it for a rip. So I'm kind of noticing a problem here. We have no throttle response. So I guess we're gonna put it back in the shop. So I'm not really sure what happened here, but I'm wondering if this is just out of adjustment. You know, I just kind of realized that it's actually adjusted for full travel already. So let's just tighten that up. I think our problem's under the seat here. So I guess before we can even use this thing, we gotta take something apart to get to the throttle linkage. Alright, in here we got all of our throttle mechanisms. And I don't know about you, but that don't seem like that's pulling that nearly far enough. I don't even know what's going on here. Let's see. This one here's... So, that's full throttle. We aren't getting anywhere near that. So that first one's our manual throttle. This one's our foot throttle. Why is the foot throttle not working though? I mean, it's kind of working. Problem is it gets stuck behind the choke. Okay, let's see what we can figure out here. So I think it's a matter of the throttle pedal not being angled properly. So I think I'm gonna re-radius this throttle. Okay, so if you watch this now, we've got almost full throttle travel. That's about the biggest bucket you're going to get out of it. Look how stable it is. got a little bit heavier of a bucket now. Let's see about that. This throttle still isn't working right. Oh, that's okay. We gotta take this panel off again. Okay, after some further investigation, they got this cable for the throttle just run through a hole with one of these little cable stops on it, but like it's not tensioned. And then they got this nice cable stop for the manual throttle. I think I'm gonna reverse those cables because more than likely you're gonna use your foot throttle. So, all right, let's do that quick. By the way, you like the nice box tube exhaust manifold they got on there? It is nice. Okay. Man, these were not tight. I don't know if they just don't tighten anything when they build these. I mean, the build qualities definitely aren't the greatest on any of this stuff. But like nothing's tight, like at all. So, okay, we gotta switch these cables so they're right. I'm sorry, you guys probably can't see a lot of this, but I can't really see it either, so you're not missing out too much. But basically all I'm doing is switching the positioning on this tie down where these cables are, because this side here lines up with this square cable stop, whereas like they originally had this one looped through it. So I'm gonna try and run this one straight through it, and it should, you know what, and it should give us better throttle response that way. So now we push the throttle. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, so we got this back together. Let's try it now. This is foot throttle. Alright, that seems to be fixed. So, or it's better at least. Alright, we got everything back together. Now, there's one other thing I kind of want to look into. So this is a clutch. It looks like it's just like a jaw clutch sort of thing. And when I was running into that pile, it was like slipping. So I'm not really sure how this works exactly. Oh, that's loose. That's probably not good. Why is everything loose on this stuff? So anyway, yeah, well, let's tighten that bolt down because that holds some sort of carrier support bearing. Surprised the other one was loose too. Alright, so what I was saying is this clutch doesn't seem to be grabbing. I'm going to take this panel off to get a better view of what I'm working on. Well, that pen is actually heavy. So you got this tapered shaft here. So when you push the clutch in, it rides that taper, and it pushes on these sprags, I guess you'd call them. So I'm just wondering if this is actually sticking, it just needs to be lubed up, or it's actually out of adjustment. Another thing is there's just so much play in this linkage. I think I'm going to try backing these off a little bit, because you tighten them up, that puts pressure on it. You back them off, it should. They're probably out of adjustment. So I'm going to just pull them all. Okay. gonna make them all flush. All right, we gotta demonstrate something here because gotta look at this one. So now it doesn't have enough travel to actually disengage the clutch. So, is there more adjustments? Okay, here's our clutch linkage. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there. This thing's. Wow. This is like a new level. Okay. That there is actually working. So we gotta tighten this down a lot. So let's get to that. Do you like the spring mount? It's just a nut welded on there. Oh boy. So anyway, we're just tightening up this tension. Marley's having a temper tantrum because she put a broken tennis ball in the thrower. Anyway, back to the repair. So I'm just gonna tighten this up because we don't have enough travel. Oh boy. How can they even sell this? This is bad. Alright, let's test this. That's what I want to see. I want to see tires spinning. I think we got that clutch dialed in. So let's go put that cover back on and we'll see if we can go put this thing to work. I got a few little things I'd like to try to use it for. The brakes don't seem to stop as good as I feel they should. So I'm going to adjust them up quick here too. So we are under the hydraulic valve body here. This is going to be your main brake adjuster. Basically just tighten that nut up on that and that'll loosen the slack on the brake pedal. Now that should work. If that doesn't work, we can adjust them individually, but we're going to try that first. As far as how much to adjust it, they're pretty far out of adjustment, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, the right way would be to jack it up, make sure they're not dragging, but you can also feel it in the brake pedal. I mean, I got 3 or 4 inches of travel, so we should be able to crank this up quite a bit. I'm assuming these are drum brakes, so that should be good. You should be able to really stomp on them now. Did you happen to see how those U-bolts are hooked to the axle? They're welded. So just walking by this thing, I grabbed a hold of the support for the canopy, thinking, oh, it's not important. Well, that support holds the fuel tank in, and these bolts are about to fall out. I don't know how this machine has not self-destructed yet. I mean, like, that fuel tank was about ready to fall out. Might as well tighten this side. Well, that side's tight. Taillight's falling out already. Man, is there anything else I should be paying attention to? That's mounted. I mean, the motor's still there. Wheels still on. These are all pins. Should be okay there. I don't know. Alright, let's go look at what we're going to do with this thing. So I just built this new section of pasture because we're going to get some cows here. And that corner post, this corner post here, got concrete in it, but it's not backfilled as well as I'd like it to be. So I'm going to bring a bucket of that stone down here and put that around it. Thing had a parking brake. Look at all that stone in there. We go around a little bit, get it all worked in there. Little thing. Put about an hour and a half worth of tinkering into it, and it's actually not terrible to use right now. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to revisit the throttle pedal. This just keeps bending, so I think I might actually just build a new one. This is only like 1/4 inch rod, if that. I mean 8 mil. I don't even know what it would be, but it's not gonna work. So I think I'll just build a new throttle linkage. Really, I mean, so far I think our throttle cable routing's been good, so yeah. It's a little bit rough through here, but seems pretty stable. Go up this little hill here. Oh yeah, not a problem. I don't know how well it'll do on a side slope. Not too eager to find out, because I don't really want to fall off this thing today. I wonder if we'll find this dirt pile. So let's see how we can re-engineer this throttle. So this is our bracket, and you can see I haven't bent it like this. If we straighten it back out, make it more of a right angle, think, and then maybe gusset it somehow, I think we can fix this. I think if we can gusset it between there and there. So I think we can gusset it between there and there, but I gotta go look at the machine quick. So it actually looks like you want to go from like here to here because there's a pin for the spring there. So I'm going to go put it on the machine. I'm going to make some marks. So I got these marks here, and if I go straight from mark to mark, it'll all work. Got these little pins from replacing a clutch brake, the hinge type. They are the perfect size to just clean up and weld right in there. So clean this up and weld her in. I don't use the 110 welder a whole lot, but it's super handy when you need it. I should close the shop door. That wind is not doing me favors. Maybe it'll stop. Nope. Stand by. Okay, we lost some of our natural lighting there, but the welds will greatly benefit from it. Probably not the safest place for a gas can. Wow. Crisis averted. I don't know what it is with these Chinese equipment videos and fire, but I don't want to make that a habit. Well, it's a little goobery, but it's much better in factory. All right, we got this in here. That works nice now. Put this throttle up here quick, this cable. Nothing on this machine has grease fittings or lubrication points. All right, let's give this a shot. I'd say we got full throttle movement now. Well, I'm not really sure what more to do with this. I'm sure I'll think of something. One thing that I could also see, we fixed this taillight by the way. One thing that I could also see being kind of beneficial, these look like knockouts. Bet you if you punch them out, filled it with concrete, it'd probably help it a little bit. It doesn't feel super unstable, but I mean, you saw when all I did was stand on the front of it and it, well, you know, lifted up off the ground. So maybe we'll do that. Got one slight predicament. I don't have any concrete. I think I got a bag of mortar. And we got some little stones. Let's see if we can do something with that. We just had a park break. the fun part, getting it in here. Not that this is a pristine piece of equipment, but remember, we are trying to resell this, so let's start getting some mud in there. Alright, we got that all filled up. Just gotta let that concrete and mortar and such cure. So we'll be back on this project as soon as it does. See if there's any difference with the extra counterweight. Alright, well, it's the next morning and our concrete is cured enough that I think we can actually give this a good test. Still a little bit soft, but it's not liquid anymore. And it's solid. So let's get this thing fired up and see if it made any difference. We'll let her warm up a little bit. It was about 30 degrees this morning. It's been sitting in the sun here, but you know, the engine's still cold. So that seems to have made a considerable difference, because I think I got a heavier bucket now and I can barely get it to stand up. So it may only be 80 to 100 pounds extra, but you know, it's all leverage. You know, it's at the very back of the machine. Plus, when you're sitting on there, you know, it's people 150, 200 pounds. That adds more weight. Probably made this thing a lot more stable. So it's definitely more stable with the concrete in the back. You know, the one thing we haven't really done with it is see how fast it goes. I've only ever had it in second gear. It's still got one more gear. Let's give that a shot, see what she does. Alright, well, hopefully you can see that. That's our speedometer. We're going to do a speed test. I mean, this is purely just fun. I mean, quite honestly, I'm not sure if it's even safe to drive this thing that fast, but, you know, we're going to try it. Alright, so first gear, just idling. We're going like 2 miles an hour. Got about 5. Second gear, got 11. Of course. Okay, well, we got 17 miles an hour wide open, and I don't even know if I want to go that fast on this thing again. That stops pretty good now too. Wow. Okay, well, that was something. We got a full bucket of topsoil here. Well, she's pretty stable now. We got the concrete on the back. Still a very rough ride. Like I said, cruising around in first gear is nice. Anything more than that's a little sketchy, bumpy, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I guess we could drive around with a loaded bucket, see if there's any difference. You know, there's a weird grinding noise up front. I never thought to check the differential for oil. Safety prop should hold this loader arm that doesn't really weigh much. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Well, it's not warm, so that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. Well, there's something. I don't think there's much. Let's get some gear oil in there. Probably shouldn't waste such good oil on this thing, but you know. I don't really think there's much of any oil in there. Wow. Yeah, that was definitely empty. Wow. Okay, well that's something in there. Jeez. Should probably check the transmission and everything else now too. So that's the thing with these Chinese machines. You gotta double check everything. Not just the tight bolts, but fluids too. I mean, you think they come with engine oil. You think they come with differential oil. This yellow plug down here, I believe, is our vent and fill. I'd have to guess the transmission has to have oil in it because I don't think it would have survived this long. Okay, well, there's oil residue. Let me get a light. Yeah, everything in there is covered with oil. Oil in the cap. So I think the transmission's okay. Just noticed there's not even a grease fitting in this U-joint. It's just not there. Oh, while we're here, might as well grease it. It's the only thing that's got grease fittings on the machine. Okay. Oh, there's not one in the slip yoke either. Oh, jeez. I mean, at least the fittings it does have are the standard grease fittings and not those weird ones like the excavators have. Went to grab my patio cushion to lay on. It looks like somebody has commandeered it. Good thing I got more than one. Alright, well, we brought the grease fitting kit over because I'm sure we're missing something here. Looks like this one's missing. Yep, that one's missing. So, okay, well, we can grease this. We just got a roll machine. Alright, got them on and greased. So this front shaft's all good. Another thing I'd like to do is I've got some grip tape. I'm gonna put some grip tape on here. I'll clean this up, and the other side, and maybe a strip here. Because when you're getting on this thing, I mean, especially now, this has it's leaking hydraulic oil or something. This is a little bit slick, so we'll do that. It's probably gonna eat the paint right off. Oh yeah. Oh jeez. Well, that stuff's sticky. All right. Okay, so we put it somewhere about there. That's perfect. Okay. There we go. So another thing I wanted to test is see how much this thing can actually lift. So I've got my steel wrist ripper here. Got that hooked up over the bucket. The bucket's kind of cheesy on this. I'm not really sure where the best place to lift things is, but we're gonna do it this way and see what happens. Okay, so the ripper weighs 372 kilograms. So 372 times 2.2, it's 818.4 pounds. So let's see if this thing can pick that up or not. I think it'll pick it. I think it's gonna be incredibly unstable though. Well, it picks it up. So as soon as I got off that seat, it stood right up. Let's see if we can move this around a little bit with me on it. I mean, I don't want to do too much because I don't want to flip over. Right. Well, don't stall, it'd be a good start. So I mean, I know that was with the loader arms up probably about 1/2 to 3/4, but it really didn't struggle at all as far as lifting that. I'm sure if that was at a lower height, it'd be a little more stable, but I'm gonna say the operating capacity, the rated operating capacity on this, somewhere around 500 pounds. Maybe 650 would be safe, but 818, a little too heavy. But well, at least we lifted something that we know how much it weighs. Alright, so with the mini wheel loader, I don't really know what more we can do with it. We kind of tested it out, fixed it a bunch. It's kind of a shame that all this Chinese stuff, like out of the box, isn't really usable. You gotta do something to it, or you gotta be handy, know how to fix things, whatever. But all in all, for $2,000, I don't think this was a really bad buy. The end goal of this for me was to free sell it. I was always curious about them, wanted to see how bad they really were. You know, the Chinese excavator, pretty bad, but you know, it workable. This was not operational from new. You wouldn't be able to use this for very long, and it would have basically self-destructed itself. But the good news is we got her fixed up, fixed a bunch of things, and hopefully you guys, if you're interested in buying one of these, you learned a little bit about what to look for, what you can work on, and how to do it. But for now, I mean, if there's anything else you'd like to see about this machine, comment down below. Unfortunately, I don't know how long I'm going to have it, because like I said, end goal was to resell it, at least get my money back out of it, you know. But the good thing is, by reselling it now, I know that it's fixed and that it's not going to cause somebody headaches down the road. But you know, with all this Chinese stuff, it's kind of buyer beware. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you on the next one.